Welcome to the 12th episode of Two Cents Tuesday. This week, I want to reflect on the growing intolerance in our society for constructive criticism and differing opinions. Apparently, in some quarters of our society, we feel the need to force-fit people into rigid categories of thought, and if they do not fit, they are branded enemies of one cause or the other, and sometimes even enemies of the state. What is even worse, our thinking has become very binary, very black or white, red or yellow, pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. We have to choose one side or the other. There is no room for variations. The problem is, this goes against the laws of nature. The human body has between 20,000 and 30,000 genes. Our genes are what determine who we are, how we look, how the organs of our body function, and how we behave. We get half our genes from our mother and the other half from our father. Unless you have an identical twin, nobody else on this planet has the same genes that you do. And even with identical twins, any one of hundreds of small genetic mutations during the early development of the fetus can lead to genetic differences in the DNA of identical twins. On top of that, there is the fact that we all experience different circumstances during our development as children and young adults. And these circumstances play an important role in determining the person we become. Nature, our genes, and nurture, our experiences and our individual reactions to the external factors that we encounter, combine to make each one of us a unique creature in how we think and how we behave. Living things like us thrive because of variety and diversity. This type of diversity is great. It means that we all see things differently, think differently, and act differently. When people with different viewpoints look at a problem with a positive, critical eye, they will come up with solutions that are superior to what you would get if a group of people with the same viewpoint and thinking looked at the same problem. Last week, there were interesting reactions in some corners to my 2 Cents Tuesday, in which I criticized the leader of the opposition for his actions in the House of Assembly during the debate on the estimates of revenue and expenditure, but also stated that I would not have allowed his antics to prevent 4 of the senior MPs and ministers from contributing to the debate if I were the government. What was fascinating was not just the predictability of the responses of some of the people who responded, but the fact that many of those responding had not listened to the 2 Cents Tuesday vlog at all. In fact, they did not even know what it was about. With them, the responses ranged from the vicious to the ridiculous. These responses showed me how little time we take to listen and understand, how quick we are to jump to conclusions, how intolerant we are of constructive criticism, how easily politics triggers some of us, and more worryingly, how polarized and tribalized our country has become because of politics. Also, I was disappointed by the fact that the substantive issue that the vlog dealt with, which is the fact that there is no real separation between the parliament and the cabinet, and as a result, Parliament is unable to discharge its critical responsibility of demanding accountability from the executive, particularly in how public money is spent, got very little traction and certainly did not provoke any reaction in the media. My call for members of Parliament who do not have a ministerial portfolio to be treated with the same regard and paid at the same level as cabinet ministers was also not viewed as newsworthy. Instead, the issue that caused the stir was me daring to offer an opinion that the government's reaction to the leader of the opposition's discourteous behavior in deliberately absenting himself from Parliament so as to try to get to speak last should not have resulted in 4 senior government ministers being denied their opportunity to contribute to the debate on the estimates of revenue and expenditure. There is a full-blown internecine war going on in St. Lucia caused by politics. And the surrogates of the political parties who are active on social media have taken this war to extreme levels. They are more caustic and rancorous than the politicians whom they represent or they seek to represent. Personally, the attacks don't faze me, but the deep political divisions in this country and the hostility that these divisions are generating have me very concerned about our nation's future. When we celebrated our 40th anniversary of independence in 2019, I stated the following. 1, it's okay to be critical of the government without supporting the opposition. 2, it's okay to be critical of the opposition without supporting the government. 3, it's okay to praise a positive action of the government and still support the opposition, and vice versa. 4, it's okay to acknowledge the good work of a member of the government, even though your party is in opposition. 5, it's okay to admit you made a mistake without worrying that you are scoring points for your opponent. 6, it's okay to point out that someone is repeating the same mistake that you made previously without being hypocritical. That is how we learn from our experiences. And 7, it's okay to passionately support your party, but you do not have to be hateful and venomous towards those who do not share your passion. Somehow, many of us do not seem to understand this. St. Lucia, our country, has been independent now for over 43 years. For many of us, myself included, this country is the only one that we will ever be able to call home. Our most precious resource is our people. We have to stop dividing them, setting them one against the other, making inefficient use of them, and often not even engaging them because of their political party affiliation. We also need to stop sniping and attacking one another in the name of petty party politics. We can and should support our party, but that support should not make us blind and deaf to alternative viewpoints. We have engaged in this behavior for decades, but it has worsened in the last 20 years. It has gotten us nowhere, individually or collectively. We have many serious problems as a country to deal with, and there is no way we will ever be able to overcome these challenges if we are not more tolerant of differing opinions and if we are unable to engage in constructive dialogue on important development issues without seeing red or yellow every time an issue is raised. So, the next time you're inclined to get angry or impatient with someone for not seeing something the way you do, please remember and recognize that diversity of thought and opinion is not only natural, but it is necessary because it helps to expand and elevate our level of understanding. This is what growth and development are all about. To keep thinking the same way and to try to force everyone to see things the way you do when the community, society, and the world in which you live are constantly evolving is counterproductive, regressive, and unnatural. Thank you for viewing another episode of 2 Cents Tuesday. Have a safe and productive week. Goodbye.